Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jake, this is Nadia, this is Buddy, that's Sedona. Babu's running around in the background somewhere. Today we're talking about Alien Romulus, which is another in the massive Alien franchise, directed by Fede Alvarez, I think it's pronounced that way. Anyway, he's the director of Don't Breathe and one of the Evil Dead films, the, I think, 2010 version. So what is your relation to the Alien franchise? I think you've only seen one of them, right?
I've only seen Aliens and this one now.
Basically, and I don't think this is a spoiler, this is like an interquel. What do they call it? Like it's a sequel and a prequel. It's like a sequel.
It's like in between.
It's in between Alien and Aliens. But that's not super important, I don't think, to the overall story. I'm just curious as to your take on this movie.
My take on this film is interesting because I really liked it, but I also was very anxious. I can get into the spoiler section about like all the anxious moments because it would spoil it, but I actually liked it a lot better than Aliens.
Well, you liked it a lot more than Aliens?
I think so.
Wow.
I don't know if it's because I liked it because I'm kind of like exposed to the world now. It reminded me of the Evil Dead a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because it's a lot more, it's been a while since I've seen Aliens. So my memory isn't very sharp about everything that happened in that film. I remember being really scared, and I was less scared of this film than I was of that film. I don't know if it's because it's overall less scary, because like I said, I haven't seen the original in a while, or because I kind of got used to that world, or I'm a badass now. I don't know. I like how they break down the world a little bit at a time. In a way, like especially with Andy and Rain's relationship and what that has to amount with. There's some things that didn't make sense, some storylines that I felt like a little convenient. Ultimately, it just felt like a slasher film.
Which makes sense because it's
just sci-fi.
This movie definitely feels, well, I don't know, it feels a lot like both Alien and Aliens, but that element of like just slasher film stuff, that's very much Alien, you know, the original Alien. I feel like Aliens is more of a monster movie, even though they're both monster movies. That's what I watched
is
you saw Aliens,
so it felt more monster.
Aliens is more of an action movie. Its DNA is all Alien and Aliens, possibly to its detriment. So tell me more. What did you like? What did you dislike?
I really liked the background of Rain's character, and I can kind of get into that in the spoiler section. I also liked the ending where it was a little bit of it was predictable, but also kind of gave you like a fake ending. It was like, oh, maybe I was wrong, and then something happens. And they were like, oh, I knew it, you know? I actually did like that it made me second guess myself for a minute. I thought the visuals was interesting. The whole AI, you know, concept and what it means to being a human, emotions. Ultimately, though, like a lot of slasher films, this one, you know, a lot of people are gonna die. And you know, you're kind of like waiting for people to just kind of get killed off until we get into like people that we really care about, which is probably the main characters, and seeing if they're gonna survive or not going to survive. And so those things are very predictable. I don't know if I would call that like a neutral sense. I like the world building. I like the fact that it makes sense why this was in the trailer. So they wanted to like hijack a ship, or they wanted to leave the planet that they're currently inhabiting. Things I didn't like, probably how, like, you know, there's always that one asshole in a film that's like scary, and then you're like, oh yeah, of course, you know, that asshole is gonna get what's coming to him, you know. So it's kind of very stereotypical in that way. I thought the cinematography was great. I liked the score. Yeah, it was just a good time. It wasn't as disgusting as I thought it was going to be. The trailers made it look like it was going to be very disgusting.
I thought it was pretty gross.
I found it very disturbing, but for a very different reason that I can't really talk about until the spoilers section. That's what I have to say. I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. What would you give it, and what did you think about the film?
I have mixed feelings about it. On one level, I really enjoyed the like production elements, the style, the filmmaking aspects was really good. I liked all the cast. I liked Kaylee Spaney, who's she's in Civil War. She's Priscilla. I thought she was a really great lead in this, and the core dynamic between her and Andy, who's like her android brother, who her dad, I guess, gave to her, and they have a very close relationship. That carried the whole movie. Just that core relationship, having something to care about. It was very Newt-esque in terms of Aliens. The characters, you know, the setup I thought was great. The fact that they're not really on a mission except to go try to steal these pods to try to get out of this coal mining. First off, the coal mining world was great. I thought the production design on every level was fantastic. Mm-hmm. The world felt huge, very immersive. And then the suspense, the tension, the terror was just excellently staged. There were some set pieces that are very memorable. One in particular, a couple in particular that were just like, man, that's great. I haven't seen that in an Alien movie before. That just felt really new and exciting, and like, man, they really filmed the hell out of that. Incredibly entertaining. I will say that. Incredibly entertaining movie. I think that the criticisms that I have and I see other people have had, it's not a huge deal for me, but it has a bit of that Force Awakens energy in terms of we're rehashing the franchise by just hitting all the best beats. It's a horror film, so there are only so many beats that you have to hit. And it's an Alien film. We've had so many Alien movies. By the way, I've seen the first two Alien movies, and I've seen Prometheus, which was prequel, Ridley Scott made. I haven't seen Alien Covenant. Like, as a horror film, I thought it was great. As an Alien film, it was like recycling some better material. I would have rated this, I would have given this movie like another star if one specific choice wasn't made that involved digital resurrection of an actor. That's all I'll say. But that in itself was so offensive to me and in poor taste and really so unnecessary. Like, it really wasn't necessary. It was just like, why did we go this way?
Is that actor dead?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. That does change my perspective, actually, and that maybe makes me want to lower my scars.
It just bothers me. Like, and
it bothered me too.
It's hard because, like, I see that in movies I don't like The Flash, they had some of that there, and I thought, like, I marked that down for that, so I have to be fair. Even though I enjoyed this movie on, like, a gut level, the fact that they did that and did it so much was like, no, absolutely not. Overall, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Shall we get into spoilers?
Yes, let's get into spoilers.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers for Alien
Can I
Romulus. Please. Yeah.
The thing that creeps me out a lot, and this is as a pregnant person, is the fact that a pregnant lady delivers a half alien. And the way that it's like, if I didn't have labor anxiety before, I certainly do now.
Yeah, I felt really bad, showing you a movie with all that while you're pregnant. I
was like, holy crap, what the hell? And It is just the whole thing of implanting itself in a human and, like, the baby, I'm like, and the baby was kicking me too, like, while that was happening, and I was like, oh man, this feels so, like, this is giving me so much anxiety. So that's also the part that I was talking about, that I was like, she's pregnant. There's no way that her fetus, there's something going to happen with the embryo fetus. The alien's either going to take advantage of the fetus, I didn't realize she was going to actually deliver, like, going to labor deliver like that. And it turns out that the alien didn't implant itself. She probably, because she injected herself with the alien DNA, she ended up creating a human alien hybrid. Just being hopeful, I thought, like, well, he's half human. Maybe he's gonna be good. No. Literally sucks the mother's milk dry. And I'm like, holy crap, this is so not good for me. It gave me so much anxiety about, like, just everything, motherhood.
That was pretty disturbing. Yeah, I felt really bad because that was like that was probably the most, like, graphic and brutal element of the movie.
I guess another spoiler part is what you were talking about earlier in the non-spoiler section about the AI recreation. You're talking about the actor who was Bilbo Baggins.
Ian Holm. So they brought back,
and I didn't realize that he was dead.
So it was like a reveal that he was there, and I kept thinking, like, how does this connect to Alien? Because I'm pretty sure he died in the original Alien. So how is he here? And apparently he's an entirely different android. He's just the same model of android as in the first movie.
So they basically didn't need to have...
Exactly. I was like, why not just have a different actor play a slightly different type of android? It felt like just fan service, and I don't know, like, it literally felt so unnecessary that I don't know if they were talking to Ian Holm before making this movie. I think he died in like 2020, so it's possible that he had agreed.
If he consented, then I'm completely fine with it.
It's possible he did, but I have no idea, and it seems dubious to me.
Yeah.
Regardless, it was just a weird thing, and it was very distracting because I thought that the CG that they used to conjure him up was not very good. good. So that was very disappointing. Some of the set pieces I loved. I loved when she finally figures out, oh, I can shoot the aliens with the zero gravity on.
Oh, that was awesome.
Because
that was a great scene.
It's not going to go right to the bottom of the ship and destroy the ship. So, of course, then they have to float through to try to avoid all of the venom.
The acid, yeah.
That was fantastic. I lost interest in the movie, like, when Andy got taken over by the, like, bad chip, the company chip. Mm-hmm. And it was very menacing, you know. It's like his prime directive now is whatever's good for the company.
It's very corporate BS, which makes sense because the planet they're inhabiting, basically, you're servile to the corporation until basically you die. It makes sense in that way, and it does kind of go into the question of, like, does he actually have emotions or not, because he was able to turn it off just by a chip, right? So for me, it felt like, no, he actually is just an android, doesn't have any emotions. His emotions just come from the chip. And later on, when he was destroyed, quote unquote, because he got his throat slashed by the half alien, half hybrid, Andy takes out the chip and, like, I'll find a way to get you back, or I'll save you.
I mean, it was a very well-made movie, and it was very slickly done. I thought, like, technical level, it was really good and exciting. And while the beats are predictable, like, of course, it's an alien movie. Once you think she's safe and in the ship, you know, the escape pod, you know, then of course there has to be another alien and something comes out. But this time it's not just another alien hiding on board or something. It's, you know, the other passenger has been infected. She infected herself with the Prometheus thing, which, again, the lore is too complex for me at this point. But it's the thing that turns and, like, accelerates human beings, like they evolve really fast or whatever. So fetus inside her grows, like, so fast, and she gives birth to this, like, monstrous alien half-human thing. So that was new. It's different. It just is like a spooky, scary monster that tries to attack her. Like, it was all the similar beats you'd see in an alien movie, but done pretty well with great skill. My only real problem with this is the Ian Holm resurrection stuff. I thought that was just like, why?
But I guess to the point, if he did consent to it, then I don't know. If he did,
I have no idea if he did or not. Even if he did, I think it's like, it's just distracting.
It's interesting because I feel like there's going to be another film because she is alive, she escapes, and then I also questioned why she couldn't bring Andy with her the first time, because the idea was that Andy wasn't going to come with them the first time.
Oh,
to
yeah.
the planet. And I felt like that explanation didn't make sense at all, because clearly there was a way that he could go there.
Also, she, like, switched on, like, she was willing for him to die for her, and then changed up to, like, I need to rescue him. So
yeah, so I thought those were very, like, convenient, or just kind of giving conflict just to give conflict. It didn't feel real to me why she would leave him, because she calls him her brother. So the connection is very strong.
It's very strong, but I think maybe that's also, like, the curse. Maybe that's, like, the horror movie trope of, like, well, she did something bad, and now they're going to pay for it, you know, in this horror hell house, haunted house, spooky thing with all these monsters. And I think maybe what changed for her is seeing him as other android with this new chip, evil and only cares about the corporation. I think maybe that affected her, like, I need my brother, you know? And so she does end up, like, multiple times saving him, and he saves her. I think the elevator shaft sequence was fantastic. You know, when they have the 0G and they're going up, and then it comes back on, and then he drops the elevator smashes the aliens. I mean, it's some great, like, action set pieces, even though it is, like, sort of a slasher film, like you were saying, but I feel like that action DNA is definitely there. And a lot of that alien's DNA is there, especially with literally Andy, after saving the girl, he literally shoots the alien and goes, "Get away from her, you bitch."
Oh, I like that, yeah.
But the second after it happened, I was like, no. Like, they're literally, that felt just like the screenwriter or the studio or whatever being like, remember Aliens? Remember when she said that in Aliens?
I like that one.
It was so out of character for him. I literally thought, like, has he seen Aliens? Is that why he's saying it? Because it felt like he was trying to quote something. I didn't like that.
Out of character.
It felt very out of character. So I was just like, what? Come on.
It would make more sense if she said that about him.
You're right. It would have been better if she said that about him, I think. No, I recommend it. I think it's definitely a good time. Yeah. Like, it's a very entertaining movie.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and we will talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.